Joining us live from Alberta. Trade is a key point of discussion. Joining us to dive deeper into that is Marina Yaloyan, who is a French journalist and director of the International Affairs at the Parliamentary Journal, who is joining us from Paris. Marina, thank you ever so much for being here with us. Of course, EU relations with the United States is something that has been tense at points, not just on trade, but also Russia and Ukraine, which we will come to. But looking at trade, of course, Emmanuel Macron at this summit as well, also Ursula von der Leyen. What are the EU looking for in discussions with Trump?
It's a complicated, multi-layered question you're asking here. Well, I think the first point is, of course, the Ukraine-Russia problem, war that needs to be resolved somehow. And Trump has been discussing directly with Vladimir Putin, and Emmanuel Macron, of course, is pushing for a more aggressive U.S. help to Ukraine, which Trump said he's not going to provide. So this is the first issue of disagreement, I think, that Europe and the U.S. will be having. I also think that it's interesting because Macron visited Greenland just before coming to the summit, which I think positions him it kind of juxtaposes the values that the Europe has versus Trump's position, where he wants to annex Greenland. So I think this is another point to look at, and another disagreement. Of course, climate also is another point where the two parties disagree, with Europe placing climate much higher in the stakes than the US, and also, by the way, Canada, because with wildfires raging in Canada every year, it's really complicated, and it's an issue that's definitely high up on the agenda, while I think that with the US, as we mentioned rightly just before that, the main issue is really trade, and also potentially the war in the Middle East. So I think there are quite a lot of disagreements and tensions in this summit that are interesting. And also, it's all, we can see there will be no joint statement at the end of the summit. And it's kind of a flashpoint moment. I think that stakes haven't been this high in years. And so we'll see what will come out of this.
Yes, and Marina, I want to look at Emmanuel Macron himself. Of course, French politics has faced difficulty from his point of view, a rise of right-wing politics. And what do you think his agenda is, aside from the EU agenda, aside from EU trade, and of course the Russia-Ukraine conflict? What's Macron really caring about as he gets ready for this meeting and summit to take place?
I think Macron, he definitely, from the beginning, I think he had this idea of, and that, was also debated in France quite a lot, where he saw Europe as kind of the United States of Europe, and a lot of politicians say it's not possible. And so he places himself, I think, at the head of this United States of Europe that's going to kind of come face to face with Trump. I really think he has this ambition of seeing himself as the leader of Europe at this point in time. And his policies are not extremely popular in France. And I think he tries definitely to gain international footage. When he, for example, I want to remind that several years ago, he went just before Vladimir Putin declared war. Macron was the one who actually volunteered to go and speak directly to Vladimir Putin about potentially stopping de-escalation. So he definitely has this great flavor for international, for positioning himself internationally as a prominent figure. Now, I don't think he has done much compared to the image that he wants to project, the strong leader of the European Union. I don't think he really, practically speaking, has managed to achieve much, but this is more a personal thing.
Yes, Marina, if you stay with us.